Welcome back to Andersen Acres! If you've got rabbits on your homestead or you're just starting to dive into hobby farming, today's topic is one that every rabbit keeper needs to know about: wool block. It's sneaky, it's dangerous, and it can affect any rabbit, not just the long-haired ones. So let's get into what wool block actually is, how to spot it early, and most importantly, what you can do to help your bunny if it does happen. Wool block is basically a gastrointestinal blockage caused by hair. Rabbits groom themselves constantly, kind of like cats, but unlike cats, they can't vomit. They can't throw up hairballs if they have something stuck. So all the hair that they swallow, it has to pass all the way through their system. If it doesn't, it builds up in the stomach or the intestines, and that's when we run into trouble. When a rabbit can't pass that fur, it can lead to stasis. This is when the digestive system slows down or it even stops entirely. That's the scary part, because GI stasis is a life-threatening condition. Wool block is one of the most common causes of it, especially in shedding season or in long-haired breeds like Angoras or Lionheads. Now, a lot of people think wool block only affects long-haired rabbits, and it's true that Angoras and Lionheads and all those fuzzy breeds are more prone to it. But short-haired rabbits can and do get wool block too, especially during their seasonal molt. Young bunnies that are first learning to groom themselves, older bunnies that aren't grooming efficiently, or stressed or bored rabbits might overgroom. That also increases their risk. So really, any rabbit is a candidate if the conditions are right. So be wary. Okay, so what do you look for? Here are some of the red flags for wool block and the accompanying GI stasis that it causes. You might be dealing with decreased appetite or not eating at all. There might be smaller or misshapen poop or no poop at all. You might have a rabbit that is overly tired, not acting themselves, hiding, basically unusual behavior that you're just not sure what's going on with your rabbit. There might be grinding of teeth. That's a sign of pain. And there might be like a bloated belly or a hunched posture where they're kind of hunched over and kind of protecting their belly because they hurt. If you see any of these signs, especially more than one of these signs, don't wait around. You need to act fast, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. First, I want to talk about prevention. Luckily, wool block is often preventable with a little bit of routine care. So here's what I do here at Andersen Acres to keep my own bunnies healthy. First, I brush my rabbits, especially during shedding season. Even short-haired rabbits can benefit from grooming a couple of times a week. Long-haired breeds, well, these guys, you might have to brush them out every day just to eliminate the threat of wool block. That's just the way it is sometimes. You're also going to want to offer unlimited hay. This is a huge deal. Hay is high fiber, and it helps keep the digestive system moving. Timothy, orchard grass, meadow hay, whatever works for your rabbit. Keep it fresh and available at all times. Also remember that hydration is super important. Rabbits need plenty of fresh water. If it's cold out, make sure it's not frozen water. In hot weather, add a second water source or flavor it with a little unsweetened apple juice to encourage drinking. Encouraging water intake is one of the most important things you can do to avoid GI stasis and wool block. Also consider enrichment and activity. Moving around helps digestion. Bunnies need space to hop, toys to chew, and social time, either with other rabbits or with you. But they need to move and they need something to do. You also want to watch during shedding season. Twice a year, rabbits go through a major shed, a molt. During these times, double up on brushing and keep a close eye on those poops. You will be able to tell very quickly from those poops if something is wrong. So what do you do if you suspect wool block? If you think your rabbit might have wool block or GI stasis, here's what you can do right away. Call the vet. Don't wait. I'm serious. Time matters here. An exotic or farm vet familiar with rabbits is your absolute best bet because they know what they're dealing with. We use a farm vet who is very familiar with rabbits because he tends to a lot of the rabbit farms that are around here. So, a vet. You're going to want one. While you're waiting for the vet to get back to you or waiting for the appointment, keep the rabbit warm and calm. A heating pad on low under a blanket can help if they're cold. Don't force food or water unless your vet advises you to do so. You also might want to administer critical care, maybe. If your rabbit has stopped eating and your vet recommends it, you might want to use a high fiber recovery food like critical care. Only use this if your vet tells you to do so because depending on the symptoms your rabbit is showing, it actually might be contraindicated. So talk to your vet before administering the critical care. Just run it by him. Does he or she think you should administer the critical care because of the condition your rabbit is in, or should you skip it for now? Always ask. You can also try giving very gentle belly massages. This can sometimes help move things along, but again, check with your vet, okay? Often they will massage the belly at the appointment themselves because they want to get things moving. Sometimes vets may use medications to stimulate gut motility or pain relievers to help them pass the blockage. In extreme cases, surgery might be needed, but I hope it doesn't come to that because rabbits don't do well under anesthesia. So if you can avoid surgery and handle it with medications or massages, that's better. Now I want to talk about some myths and misinformation that pop up from time to time regarding wool block and GI stasis, because there's a lot of old wives' tales out there. Let's bust a few of them real quick. First, the pineapple juice cures wool block. There is no strong evidence that the enzymes in pineapple actually help. Pineapple is mostly sugar, and that's not great for your rabbit's gut when your rabbit is in distress. So while pineapple juice can be a fun treat, there's no evidence that it will help with wool block. So probably don't give it unless your vet recommends it. Then there's the whole, it'll pass on its own, so you don't need to do anything. Maybe it'll pass. Maybe not. Waiting too long can be deadly, and I personally would not gamble with my Gemini's life. I'm not going to take that risk. So I call the vet sooner rather than later. The worst that will happen is he'll tell me that I didn't need to call. That's the worst that happens. The next myth that happens around wool block is long-haired breeds are too hard to keep, so don't bother because they'll all get wool block. Well, really, are they more prone to it? Yes, any of them can get it. But really, the long-haired rabbits just need a little more maintenance. If you're consistent with their grooming and their diet, they're just as healthy and happy as their short-haired counterparts. So, have we had experiences with wool block? The answer is yes. We have had a couple of brushes with it here and there over the years. Very long time between each flare-up. So one particular incident that stands out to me is one of our lion heads. His name was Tiger. He got a little bit lazy with drinking water during a heat wave, and he ended up needing a vet visit. Luckily, we caught it early, and he made a full recovery and went on to live many years. But it was a good reminder that even when you do everything right, sometimes things can go wrong. You can't control everything. You can't handle everything. So sometimes something's going to happen, even if you did everything right. It's okay. Just deal with it, get that rabbit to the vet if needed, and move on. That's why it's so important to know what to look for and to act quickly, because even if you're caring for your rabbits perfectly, something could still happen. Okay? So it's not your fault if your rabbit gets wool block. It's just something that can happen. So try to be on top of it. Get your rabbit to the vet if you have to. Don't beat yourself up over every little thing. That is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Drop a comment below if you've ever dealt with wool block or if you have any tips for grooming and keeping your rabbits healthy. I'd love to hear from you. We'll see you tomorrow.